Male Cruise Show, the podcast. I am the only Male Cruise. Be sure to hit the like button, share, subscribe, leave a comment. You know I want to hear from you. Copyright disclaimer regarding fair use is in full effect. The views and opinions expressed in this show, you guessed it, they're all mine. Let's go to work. Welcome to the Only Male Cruise Show, the podcast. I am the Only Male Cruise, and we are just doing, this is so impromptu. It's myself, Shrinking Sharon, and we're waiting on one more special guest, and we'll tell you who that is once she gets here. Thank you, Mr. Meet and Greet, for pulling up. We sure do appreciate it. Let's see. So the surprise is that this is my first time streaming to Facebook at the same time. And that's why, Sharon, I'm glad that you were able to pull up just so that I could have this opportunity. Check your inbox there, Jess, because I sent you the link so you can come up. But anyway, this is the first time that that I'm streaming live on Facebook. So I haven't been on Facebook in over 5 years. And so I said, all right, let me try it. Let me see what's going on. Sharon, how are you?
I'm great. How are you this evening?
Sharon, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. You 1 second. I forgot to plug my thing in. 1 second.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now. We got you now.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Okay. So yeah, these impromptu shows, they're sometimes spontaneous. But one thing I'm gonna give you guys this recipe for. Oh Lord, what's that noise?
Oh, yes. I don't know.
Oh Lord.
Is there a noise?
I hear some background. Hi, Deborah Smith.
On my end? I don't know. Maybe I'll change earphones. This is my earphones. Maybe. I don't know. Let me mute and change the earphone out.
Okay. All right. So while she's doing that, Mr. Cal, I want to shout out everybody. I appreciate y'all for pulling up. Thank you so much. Baby Shay. Let's see. Brooklyn. Let me just keep going through here, y'all. I asked StreamYard, would you guys please put this stuff on the left-hand side of the screen, screen, just to make life easier. That would be easier for me. I'm left-handed, so it's kind of hard to, operate on the right-hand side of the screen. So shout out to everybody that pulled up. Sure to appreciate you. Please be sure to hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And Jess, we are cam down, sweetheart. So you can actually put your profile in. There you go. Let's see. All right. So we got Jess up in here. All right. So with that being said, Sharon, did you get your earphones fixed or what's up? All right.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Hi, I'm Jess. How you doing, girl?
Hey.
Hey. Thanks for pulling up impromptuly, if you will. Okay, so let me start with this. So the recipe that I use for my barbecue sauce is I start with the Ray's baby back. I think that's what it is.
I love Ray's.
Yeah, Sweet Baby Ray's. That's what it is. And so I throw some mustard in there. I put some brown sugar in there. Also put some honey in there. And I think I'm forgetting something else because y'all know I just saw something on Twitter the other day where they were saying that, how we cook, we don't have a recipe. We just know by instinct what's going on. So, but that's the bottom line. Now, does anybody else in here use Sweet Baby Ray's, or if the fact that I'm using Sweet Baby Ray's, does that still make it, a good barbecue sauce? Or y'all like, girl, that ain't no homemade barbecue sauce. Y'all say something in the comments and let me know what y'all think. But I'm telling you, it's fire. It's fire when I hook it up.
I've done it both ways. I love Sweet Baby Ray's. That's my go-to.
Right.
Regular barbecue sauce, but I've also made it to scratch the other way too.
So how do you make it from scratch?
Ooh, I use a little bit of ketchup, a little mustard, a little brown sugar, a little syrup. I mean, it's been so long since I made it from scratch though.
Right. Right.
I'm
It,
so
and
lazy on that.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, and for me, and I've never made it from scratch, but for me, what I do, you have to doctor up that baby rays. I mean, it's good straight out
Mhm.
the container, but if you really want it to be
Mhm.
some fire on the food,
Mhm.
okay, what seasonings do you use prior to the barbecue sauce? All right, so Tiana and
And
them
the
boys.
boys. Mhm.
I usually use, the staples. I usually use the salt, pepper, the onion powder, garlic powder, um, all the normal ones. Or actually, I don't really use too much salt. I usually use Maggie cubes. I use what else is called?
Is that you mean
Chicken.
talking about? Are you talking about Maggie Polo
Yeah,
or
Maggie's.
in the yellow?
What else do they call it?
Is the container yellow?
It's
Mm.
packs, little Maggie. The
Oh, okay.
what it
I think I know what you're
bouillon
talking about.
cubes,
Hmm. Boyo
bouillon.
cubes. That's them
Yeah.
boyos. Yeah,
Yes.
I use a little bit of liquid smoke too.
Mm.
A little
Well,
touch.
if we're talking about the same Maggies, I'm gonna tell you, girl, that is the secret. You heard me? That it don't tell
Yes,
nobody.
the
And I'm gonna tell you,
Maggie.
Sharon, on your show just 5 minutes ago when we were over there on YouTube, Shrinking
Hmm.
Sharon.
Hmm.
Um, listen, girl, I made sure to go to Walmart because I can't find that in every store. Listen, that was one of the items that I was putting a, a plenteous amount of in my cart because I'm not trying to run out of that. That
Hmm.
it's Maggie Polioles or something. I can't even pronounce it. I can't remember the full name of it, but it's fire. It's yellow. It's in a yellow
I know
container.
what you're talking about. I can't think of the full
So,
name either of it,
it is
but
fire.
I know exactly what you're speaking of.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay, so I told you on your channel that I had some questions for you. So you're in tech. So here's my question for you. Have you ever worked as like tech support where you um answer the phones and help walk people through their technical issues? Yes or no?
Yes,
Okay,
I
and
have.
okay, and you sound like you are well advanced, and that's probably a entry level position or whatever, and you sound like you're well above entry level. But my question for you is, when you have served in that role, or in even when you do that work, how are the people? Do the people that you're helping, are they patient, and do they understand you, or are they like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? What? What's your interaction with typically with people that when you have to interact with them on their helpline?
It Each person is different, by case basis, but typically people are grateful that you've helped them in the end.
Mhm.
Sometimes.
But I'm trying to get out of you like through the process. The reason why I'm asking you is because I have to super
Hmm.
duper manage myself when I'm on the phone with
Hmm.
IT
Hmm.
because they start speaking in the IT language and I'm not
Hmm.
IT, and I'm like, what?
Exactly.
What? What
I've,
are you
I've
talking
learned.
about?
Right, right, right.
Do
And
you
it
get a
can
lot of
get
that?
frustrating. It can get frustrating because you know stuff. I mean, I haven't worked at a like a cable place or the telephone place or anything like that.
Mhm,
But when I have helped people with tech things, I
mhm,
try to put myself in them people and other people's shoes.
mhm.
I try to break it down in a way that they will
In
understand.
layman's terms.
In
Mhm.
layman's terms, exactly.
Yeah,
To try to help because I know that everybody don't know things the way that I would know
right.
things, and I know that everybody is not already there.
Yeah. Well,
Now,
oh, go ahead.
mhm.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, I know that everybody doesn't know things the way that I know things a lot of times.
Yeah, I had a person, I was on the phone with IT just recently, about 2 months ago, and they were like, well, click on this. What does it say?
Hmm.
I'm like, what? Now click on that. What does it say there? I'm like, you know what? When's the last time you've been on this site? When was the last time you were on this site? Because I'm clicking on stuff and what you're saying I should be seeing, I'm not seeing.
I have done that before, but I always try to also ask people, and it can get frustrating a lot of times.
Yeah.
I always recommend people get a notebook and
Right.
write down stuff, that because just like the other thing I was saying, when you write down stuff and that's even with school. Why do
Mhm.
you think they ask you a lot of times in school to write down stuff? Because that
Mhm.
hand to brain memory helps a lot. If you're
Right.
writing down as I'm going along with you, and you
Mhm.
keeping it go with that notebook or whatever,
Right.
then you're more likely to remember it, or you can going back to that notebook to write down
I hear
what you're
you.
doing.
Yeah.
You know what
Okay.
Mhm.
I do? I brought the Geek Squad. It's a thing called the Geek
Yes,
Squad.
it's at Best Buy and different
Yes,
things.
ma'am. And
Yes.
that's where I get my electronics. And I
Mhm.
got the Geek Squad. And
Thank
whenever
you.
anything goes wrong,
Ain't
I'm
that it?
running my stuff right on. And they come to your house too.
Come on.
I'm not
They
even gonna
do,
That's
they
right.
try.
do, but at the
Right.
same time, and that's wonderful to have the Geek Squad. But I'm also in the process. Everybody can't afford the Geek Squad, so
Oh,
I
true.
also believe in the teach a man to fish. Then I
Yeah,
have
but
to keep buying them
yeah, no,
fish.
no.
Since
That's not
that's a
gonna work for
fish,
me.
I'm just gonna have to keep purchasing
Thank
right
you.
there because I'm not
Exactly.
even going to,
Thank you.
I ain't even going to
Yeah.
try. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Because you're gonna make me mad, and I'll be mad all
Right,
day
right.
behind that. I can't do it. I can't do it. And that's one sign of a good leader. You know your weaknesses, and
Right,
Uh-huh.
and, uh,
right.
and
And
you're not
everybody, I
ashamed.
know everybody's not going to know.
That's
Everything is
right.
not going to come easy to them.
Right.
Like, for example, when we're watching Sean, the way the stuff rolls off of him for comedy, I
Oh,
can say the
yes,
same stuff Sean
indeed.
says, and it's going to fall just as flat. And I'm like, wow, how come Sean
Absolutely.
can say that? And it's so funny. I
I
Right.
can
ain't
say the
even messing
same.
with Sean because he be having me at work
Exactly.
laughing out loud because I be having my
Look,
earpiece in my ear
yeah,
and I be watching him at work. When I be cutting
right.
up in the on the thing, I be at work and I be
Mhm.
laughing. People be looking at me like I'm special. Like, don't look at me like I'm special. I'm just happy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
so now we did have a question in the comments from Carolyn Marie.
Mm-hmm.
And she's saying like what's really good homemade is
It's
sloppy
homemade
joes.
sloppy Joe.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it
Oh, it's
is.
the
It is.
bomb.com.
It
I love
is.
homemade sloppy joe.
So who okay, so is there any secret thing that y'all put in your sloppy joes?
I haven't had
I,
sloppy Joe in like I would say 6 years.
Mhm. How about you,
I
I
Sharon?
I had homemade sloppy joe like towards the end of the summer, and I just cut up my own peppers and onions and stuff. A lot of stuff I like to. I love to do copycat meals.
Mhm.
Like because it comes down to that saving money. If
Okay,
if
so when
I
you say
find something,
copycat meals, exactly what do you mean?
I mean, for example, if it's a hamburger helper, I use hamburger helper or something like that. For example,
Mhm.
why go and spend that money to buy a hamburger helper when you could buy your own noodles and your own meat and find your own sauce or whatever and make that same similar meal. It's a copycat meal. You know
Okay.
why go buy that Chick-fil-A macaroni and cheese when you can season it
you
real
see,
good and make
you
your
see.
own macaroni and cheese that tastes just as good or better than Chick-fil-A's macaroni and cheese. I'm into that. Make your own
Yeah.
ingredients. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A copycat meal.
Now I will tell you. Now when my kids were at home, I used to I made the hamburger helper like on occasion,
Mm-hmm.
but girl, I don't make the hamburger helper. So for me, um, I guess you could call it scratch or whatever. But yeah, and the same with like macaroni and cheese too, because it's easier and you really can do the portion control on that
Mm-hmm.
as well. You don't have to make so much.
Yeah.
Now, Carolyn Marie, let's see. Okay, we're sharing recipes today.
Oh
Yeah,
Yeah,
shucks.
Worcestershire sauce. Oh yeah,
Ketchup,
ketchup,
Worcestershire
Worcestershire
sauce,
sauce.
lemon
lemon juice,
juice.
white vinegar, paprika,
Really?
ground beef, or
Mm-hmm.
turkey. I use turkey.
Me
Onions.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Hold
Me
on, let
too.
me write. Yeah, I haven't had red
That's
meat
okay.
in
Watch
about
the
10 years.
replay
Ain't
and
that
just
it?
pause this part of the video.
And don't forget
Yes,
to share,
indeed.
hit the like button, and subscribe if you
Right,
haven't already.
exactly.
Please do.
And I tell you what, I also dropped my Facebook page in the chat. So if y'all
Mm-hmm.
get a chance, go over and hit the like button on that page too.
Mm-hmm.
My main objective, one of the things I really have found myself on here lately, and I'm just going to shout out Antoinette, is this case and this push and this fight for reparations. Um,
Oh,
I
okay.
mean,
Oh yeah.
and the thing about it, you say reparations, and everybody's like, all right, I got to go. I see, I holla. But,
Mm-mm.
but in learning about reparations, I'm really finding out a lot about our Black history. I have learned so much that I didn't even know was what it was. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
Yeah, so I have a lot of interest in that right now. So it's
What have you found out about it so far? I could tell you as
hmm,
much as Biden is not for reparations. He's not for giving blacks reparations. He doesn't feel that that is an important issue as far
yeah,
as reparations go. I kind of dug into his past, you
hmm,
know, when he was running for president, and I had tried to tell people he is not who we want, but you know, it wasn't easy trying to say don't vote for him when he was up against Trump.
right, right, right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, that's
Because
true.
it wasn't easy. But
Yeah.
he's not really for reparations. What have you found on the subject though, Mel?
Well, the main thing I found out is the about the indigenous black people that were here before
Yeah.
um before slavery. You
Yes.
know what I mean? And I didn't know that. I did not know that.
That's one
And oh, go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
go ahead.
That's one thing they're not going to tell people, especially people of color. And this is kind of where my little expertise come in, because
Oh,
that's one thing they're not going to tell us is that we are the quote unquote Indians. We are the ones who was
right,
here before. We were the ones who were trading. We had everything set up here. We when people say Indians, it's
right,
really not the lighter skinned people.
right.
Indians were dark. They look kind of like, Future the rapper.
Yeah.
They really like, they kind of favor not just him but us, period.
Mhm.
And that's one thing they're not going to tell us. And then you have the $5 Indians. Those were the Caucasians who, when they established the fact that the Indians had the stake to the land,
Mhm.
they sold Caucasians the right to become an Indian and get part of the land for $5. And that's where $5 Indians came in. That's why
Thank
you have
you.
a lot of Caucasians saying, I'm part Cherokee. No, you brought that.
Well,
Your
now
people.
let me interrupt you real quick because
Yeah, go ahead.
just brought up something that, like, I heard Tariq Nasheed mentioning that
Yes.
you just the $5, and I'm like, wait, what is that? What
Yeah.
is that? So you just answered that question because I was wondering
Yes,
about
ma'am.
that,
The
and I dropped the
$5
link. Anybody
Indians
that wants to come up, you're welcome to.
is the Caucasians who brought the right of Native American land for $5. And
Mm,
that's why it's so many Caucasians saying that they're Indian. They're not. They brought that. We are the people. And so if the Caucasians open up the whole reparations, if they open that up, they're going to have to explain to
oh, wow.
us that
Yeah,
this is our land.
yeah,
And they don't want to do that because they don't want to give up that power, because once they say, okay, we're going to give you reparations, it's going to be people that know, that says, okay, well, we were here, they were us. And then how are they going to explain that
yeah,
when they've been
yeah.
teaching us the opposite? All
Right,
they've been teaching us, we come from Africa
right.
all this time.
Yeah,
You
that's
gotta
true.
trying to figure out why on Black History Month they just focus in on slavery.
Mm. Okay,
You
now
know,
just yeah.
yeah.
Now you know what, you're coming back. You are coming back. But what because I think you and I could probably have a good conversation about this, but, I don't hear Sharon chiming in a
I
lot.
don't. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I don't really.
You
I
ain't get
mean,
too
I'm
stuck.
listening.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just taking it in. A lot of times, I
Absolutely.
just listen
Yeah, yeah. No,
and stuff. I
absolutely.
just,
But I still I want us to go around and around, but yeah, just
okay,
you be back
okay,
here, girl. Um,
yeah.
Now, Shrink and Sharon, so now
Yes.
you, you said that you're in the tech. Give me some more detail about the kind of tech work that you do.
Um, I'm into tech, like on devices like your some gaming systems, like the also like your devices that you may the retro pies, the something different things that you can do with your computers,
Oh, wow.
your devices such as your NVIDIA Shields or your Android devices.
Okay.
I don't do. I mean, I do. We do a little. I do a little bit as far as your eye devices, but I'm not big. I don't. I really don't like Apple products as much because they're closed. I mean, we do a little on that, but I don't like Apple devices as much to me personally because they're closed. And
So
what I
do you
mean
do
closed, you can't do as much on
right?
them.
So
I
do
mean,
you
you
do it
can do a lot of that stuff on them as far as like
as an
they're
end
great.
user? You can do a
Yeah.
lot of stuff as an end user. But so now, are you actually in there repairing, or are you in there like doing some coding type of thing, or like?
Well,
Yeah.
coding, repairing,
Wow.
coding, different things like that. But I mean, you can do stuff with Apple devices, as far as like for streaming. Of course, it's great for pictures. It's great for what we're doing on here. But you also can do this with your phone.
Hmm.
You can also do this with a PC as well. You know,
Hmm. Okay.
You
so
did say you
definitely,
did gaming too, right?
well, you can do stuff with gaming as well. Yes,
Mm.
yes.
I don't know nothing too much about none of that stuff. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Yeah, me either. I
Yeah,
know. My
like
heart's out
retro
to you.
gaming, or like for example with the Shield, you can not only can you stream on there, but you can also game on there, whether it's the latest games or it's like all in one. You can also retro game on it. You can also use it for a security system. You can also use it for like if you want to use it as a fax machine. It's so many more
Oh, you're
things you can
saying
do with it.
you said Shield. What is that?
And Video Shield is like and I have a video on there that breaks it down. It's an Android system it's initially for gaming, but you can do so much more than gaming on it.
Like,
You can game on it. You can watch TV on it. You can use it, like I said, for a security system. You add a security system for your house on it. You can
Mm.
also use it for faxing. You can use it for so many more
oh
things
wow.
than
What
what
does it
it
look
is
like?
for.
Is it like an app or like a
No,
device?
no, it would look similar to a
Like a
I can't even
tablet?
no, not a tablet. It would look like a PlayStation, similar to a PlayStation or something.
Oh,
Interesting.
Hmm.
a console.
Yeah, it would look like a
Hmm.
console.
Okay.
Exactly. That's
Okay.
exactly what it is, a console.
Awesome.
Yes.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, it looks like the
Yes.
chat. So the chat, according to Sonia, she said Christopher Columbus did not find
No.
America either.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. He
can't
did.
find something that was
Wow.
already had people on it.
Yeah,
Like that's
already
like
had
me
people.
going to
Exactly.
Mel Cruz house and like I didn't discovered her house. You can't do
Right.
that.
That is. Beat that is.
Yeah. You didn't
If
discover her street
you
either.
find some money up in here, this is gonna be a problem because it definitely ain't yours. How about that? True.
I
Yeah.
found that money in this room. You left it laying there. I
You know what
found
I'm
it.
saying? I didn't discovered this dollar. This is mine.
Right. Exactly.
What
I'm
is your
telling-
channel about, Infamous? I mean, I'm sorry, I don't have my
Yeah.
glasses on. Let me
I'm
put them on.
just.
Oh,
I'm
I'm just
just. I'm
I
sorry.
was looking in
I
the
didn't have
chat.
my
I'm like, who's
glasses. I'm
infamous?
sorry. I took my glasses off. I cannot see worth a
All right.
flip without my
I'm
glasses
looking at
on.
I got
I'm
I'm
just.
looking in the chat.
I'm just. I'm
I
sorry.
speak
That's
on
all right.
things like that. I speak on I they call it conspiracy theory. But
Okay.
it's not conspiracy because what I do and what I've been doing for over 20 years is I look behind the curtain. Like for instance, I just did a video and my main channel is I'm just and I just recently did a video about the halftime show because what a lot of people don't know is that the powers that be, the elites, so on and so forth, they talk to us in numbers and in imagery and symbolism and things like that. When I was younger, my grandfather, he was a part of all that mess. And he used to have books and I love reading books. I was a book person. Now I can listen to it on my tablet.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? So I learned
Mhm.
a lot about the symbolism, about masonry, about all of that stuff, and I use my knowledge to try to decipher on the surface. I try not to go too deep because I start losing people, but I, try to decipher
Heck yeah.
things on the surface, because the thing about the elites is that they have to tell you what they're going to do before they do it to you. It's like, I don't know if it's because they want to I don't know if it's because they get a kick out of it, like, oh, we told you we're going to do it and you still fell for it, or if it's just the way the universe is with them, but they do. And so what I do is I go, and I look at certain things, and I also read news articles. And I don't read chapter 1 news articles. I go into page 6 or page 10, and I read the news articles that actually mean something, because page 1 is the distraction. That's what's to get y'all looking away. But the real news is usually on page 10. So I usually go through and I read page 10. I'm also on Telegram, but I'm part of Telegram groups about different things like World War III, and how we are about to, like, us in Russia, we going through some things.
Oh, yeah.
People don't know about that. And I don't know what's in the water, but we are fighting something in the water. There is no reason for the water to just be on fire. That's not acceptable. And then for the fact that
Well, now where's the water on fire at?
the ocean was on fire, Mel.
When? Oh,
Wow.
Lord have mercy. When?
Yes.
That's wow.
The
Where was I
ocean
at?
was on fire, and this is what they said. They said that a oil pipe leaked and the ocean caught fire, but none of the oil refineries blew up, right?
So
Okay.
it's arson.
No. Who lit the match, Mel?
That's what I'm saying. Arson.
Yeah.
But who lit it's in the
Did
ocean.
it set itself on fire?
Who lit? That's what my channel comes in on. I make you think. Who lit the match in the ocean to make the ocean catch on fire?
Okay, now
You're basically the who, what, when, and what.
let me
Who,
jump
what,
in.
when, and where. Okay.
Let me jump in. So now I'm just going to bring the Bible up, because in the end of the Bible, the last
Yes,
book of the
ma'am.
Bible, it already tells us what time it's going to be. And I tell a lot of people, it's not, we're not, this is something that's going to happen over time.
Yes, ma'am.
We're not going to wake up and boom, oh, there it is. I mean, some people are going to wake up and be like, oh man, we're in the book of Revelations. But really, it's gonna be this slow process, like we're seeing right now, that is going to get us to that point of how the Bible says it's going to be in the end. So that's why some of these things are just not shocking. But I want to ask you, Just, so what's the conspiracy behind the what's my man's name? Travis Baker?
Travis who?
Scott.
Oh wow. I also did that on my channel too. Oh, that was a sacrifice.
Wow.
You have to say what people don't understand is, even us in our daily life, we sacrifice. If you want to have a good job and you want to make good money, you sacrifice your time. If you want to have time with your family, you sacrifice some money. If you want to have everything, you're sacrificing your sanity. So we're always sacrificing. But with the powers that be, the greater the reward is, the greater the sacrifice. So the people that are entertainers, they have to sacrifice, and they do blood sacrifice. And it's not something that's odd, because they had blood sacrifices in the Bible. You remember he was about to kill, who was it who was about to off their son for God, and God was like, no, I'm just playing with you, bro. Stop, put the knife down.
Abraham to take
Abraham was about to, he was about to off his son, and God was like, yo, I'm just playing. Stop. You wilding. So you know what I'm saying? Blood sacrifices are even in the Bible, and they still do it, and they have to do it publicly. Just like what's his name? Tyrese. I'm gonna tell y'all how that went down.
With his mom or
before that. And a lot of people didn't peep this. Tyrese, it was time for him to make a blood sacrifice. his his wife or his baby mother. His baby mother was like, "You can't do that. Not my daughter. You're not going to do it." And that's why she took his daughter away from him. He panicked because
Mm.
that was going to be his sacrifice.
Oh,
And a lot of people don't
Wow.
remember, but his wife had got pregnant. And remember, he was like, "We're about to have a son." And then all of a sudden, she wasn't pregnant no more. They
Wow.
sacrificed that baby. And then once that baby was gone, he started getting his roles back. And a lot of people didn't really catch on to that because they were just seeing him going around the house acting crazy and cutting up.
right.
No,
Now,
his,
let me interrupt you real quick because we got to
mhm.
do this for the Lord. Uh, Lysandra Gilliard, thank you, sweetheart, for coming through with the truth. I mean, well,
Yes.
I say the truth because y'all know what I'm saying. But
Yeah,
Abraham, so yes, thanks for bringing that clarification. So yeah, uh, Abraham was doing that. The Lord was testing his faith. That's really what it was, because when he just as he was about to kill Isaac, the Lord said,
yeah.
"Okay, I see you trust me. I see you do trust me. So you know what? You ain't even got to do that." So that's how that was. And the blood sacrifices that you mentioned that are in the Bible, those were done. They weren't done for the way you've described, and
No,
that most of us have heard that these celebrities do. You know, they're doing them for selfish gain, but the sacrifices that were done in the Bible, those were done as a tribute and obedience, a sign of obedience to God. So,
the celebrities have a God too. They just
yes,
don't have the same God, and they
right.
do their blood sacrifices for their God.
Mm-hmm,
And the way you could tell the difference is because God, the source,
mm-hmm.
our our God does
Creator,
not require symbolism as well.
come on.
Like
Right.
they communicate and they have communications and symbolism, hands
Mm-hmm,
gesture, and a whole lot
mm-hmm,
of other things.
right.
And you could tell, and not only that, but colors as well. They
What's
work in
significant
colors.
about the colors?
Because y'all
What's
about to ask about it, could you elaborate on the colors?
Yeah.
It depends. It's like, cause see, different colors bring different moods. My field period is psychology, mental health.
Mhm,
And different colors can bring on different moods. Different colors can spiritually, just like sound. I love sound. I could play 7 instruments. Sound can bring on different moods. Just like if you go into the club and you want to get hyped up, you play a certain song. Colors
mhm.
can do the same thing. Blue, and that's associated with what?
Calmness?
Down. Yeah. And
Um,
then you got red associated with what?
Supposed to be
Anger.
Wrath,
confidence. Oh,
anger.
I thought it was confidence.
Okay. And purple is associated with royalty. And that's
Mhm,
what I'm gonna venture off a little bit. That's when I
yeah,
tell people they gotta understand that America is not independent. America is still part of the British rule, because you have Republican, you got Democrat, and blue and purple. You put them, blue and
mhm,
red. You put them together, you get what?
Purple.
purple.
There you
Oh,
go.
look at you, Just. Huh,
Not
that's
only that,
interesting.
but all the presidents are all related by blood. And if you go back, they're related to Vlad the Impaler, and he is a descendant of the royal family. So we are all, I mean, they are not us, but they are all related, and we are still under the British rule. Okay, but
Wow.
back to colors. I just ventured
Okay.
off. Back to colors. Colors can alter your mood. If you pay, and my actual business is I'm just LLC, and I make paintings. I make paintings, and I do it custom made. Custom made depending on what your sign is and
Huh,
what you want to accomplish. And I before I made my business, I did it for myself. Like I would pay every year, because I'm an Aquarius. I love us. And every year I would paint myself a painting for my room according to my sign and what I wanted to accomplish for that year. And it came, I got it, because I woke up every morning and I saw those colors and they made me happy, or they made me, you know what I'm saying? And so I started my business doing custom paintings according to a person's sign, star chart, and what they wanted to, if they wanted. But it's not just the colors. It's also it's a whole lot of other things you got to
Mhm.
do too. But
So the process you just described, does that
yes,
take the place of someone who gets up in the morning and praises God and prays?
no, I pray every morning.
Okay.
That's part of it. I
Okay.
personally, I pray every morning. Every morning I wake up and I thank God
Mm.
every morning because I came from a really low place of depression, bad
Oh,
place.
yeah.
Mhm.
And I went from there to now I have a business. I just bought my first house. I have
Awesome. Congrats.
Wonderful,
four or
wonderful.
five bank accounts. You know what I'm saying? And it
Oh,
was a
shoot.
process.
4 or
And
5 bank accounts?
yes, I have a lot of bank accounts.
All right. You drop one of them
And you
cards.
know what? Sometimes you need several bank accounts.
And it's
That's
like
okay. Mhm.
I want to, especially with my black women. I'm not saying that my Caucasian cousins, I love you guys too, but my black women, because mental health and depression is so bad amongst us. I want to like reach down and pull us up. You know what I'm saying? And black men too. I love you guys too. I love y'all. But black women, we really are the cornerstone of so much in our community.
True.
So it's I really wanted to reach down and pull us up. And
Mhm.
my business is not is going slow, but
Yeah.
I'm not rushing it because I really care. It's not something I want to just mass produce. I really care. It's a
Right.
prayer behind
Mhm.
every painting.
Mm,
Like
mm.
I write a prayer and then I do the abstract art on top of the prayer. So
Wonderful.
it's really something that I've worked on and worked through and put a lot of thought
Yeah.
into. But colors matter. Colors matter, sound matter, and thoughts. Your thoughts matter more than anything in the world
Right.
because you think, therefore you are.
Amen. That's true.
Amen. Wow. And like you said, us as women, we take on so much. We take on so many burdens. We take on our burdens, our children's burdens, our
Right.
spouses' burdens, our
Yes.
Right.
partners' burdens and stuff. So when we're going through something, a lot of times, who can we go to?
Right.
You
Very
know,
true. That's very true.
so
That's very
that's
true.
very understandable.
So Jess, you said your background is in what now?
Psychology.
Mm,
Because especially when I was going through my depression, I wanted to know why.
mhm.
I wanted to understand why, and I wanted to have a bigger understanding of depression and mental illness because it runs in my family.
Right.
I'm
Mhm.
actually still in school. I was doing schoolwork while I was
Right.
listening to you. I was
Mhm.
on there. I was writing essays.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
now what level of education are you pursuing at this time?
I'm working on my bachelor's.
Okay, yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I actually
Yeah,
just got
yeah,
my bachelor's. Like I think it was in June or something. But now I'm back in school pushing for a master's.
yeah.
And oh my goodness. I'm like,
Congratulations to you as well.
yeah, I mean, I'm happy about it.
Mhm.
I love school. I love being in that environment. But
Honestly, I'm still on my. I could at this time get my AA, and I'm really thinking about just getting my AA instead of pushing for the whole 4 years. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, girls, I'm tired.
here, girl, listen. Let me say this to you.
I'm
No,
tired. I'm a little up there.
no,
I'm not a spring chicken.
yeah, me either. And I'm gonna
Mhm.
say this to you. You too young to be tired. That's what my father would say. So, but
Mhm.
don't stop. Gonna get that AA, but keep going.
I'm
Because
really
as black
thinking.
women, I'm just be keeping a whole million trillion with you. As black women, we already have to do triple the job just
Mhm.
to be considered equal
I
to
know.
what our counterparts uh, are doing. So
You
you need,
know,
come on.
honestly, I live where I'm at now. I live around people with old money.
Mm,
And I've been talking to a lot of them, and we are not really behind the black male. We are looked at as in front of the black male. And I have mixed feelings about that,
Right.
because I do feel as black men they should be at the forefront.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Girl,
Oh,
what you trying to do?
Let
that
me
was
mute
a
my phone.
jam,
What you
girl.
trying to do to me?
I
You
was
That's
thought,
about to,
that's a notification on my
I was
phone.
about to bust a move. I didn't know.
me too. I was like, wait a minute, okay, bust a move and get the video strike and sharing. Oh wait,
But
that was a good break. That was a good announcement because right now, let's see who we got. We got Sonia in the house. Hi,
hey,
Sonia. How you doing?
Sonia.
I'm doing all right. How y'all doing?
We're doing fine. Thanks for pulling up. So what's tea, girl? What you said? Let me
And I
come
got
over
a
here.
question.
Come on.
When I'm going through mental health myself right now, and I'm seeing like a lot of people saying like certain colors trigger people. Colors
Mhm.
don't trigger me. Your tone triggers me. It's how you like
Ooh,
your tone of voice, how you talk to me.
yeah,
That'll trigger me.
yeah.
Colors don't. I mean, it don't matter what color you got on, but it's your tone of voice.
I know that's right. And
I'm
so,
Well,
going for my anger issues. Well, I got a lot of issues, but my main one is my anger. I
yeah.
get triggered real fast. And I'm trying to like work on that right now, try to,
mhm,
get that under control
mhm.
right now. So
So it sounds to me like that's more or would you agree? So that's more like an anger type of thing where it just
That's a quick trigger. That's a quick thing. With colors and stuff like that, that's more over time. What I would say is, if you have an issue with anger, try to stay away from people that anger you. Try to Okay, don't listen to angry music.
mm,
Listen to happy music. A lot of things people do that I would say is not good is when they're sad, they listen to sad music. When they're angry, they listen to angry music. They listen to the music that match the mood. Do not listen to music that match your mood. Listen to music that you want to feel like. So if you're angry, listen to happy music. I have Pharrell the song Happy on repeat on, like, and I be mad listening to Cause I'm Happy. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Because that's what you want to feel. Stay away from, and it's okay. It's okay to cut people off. That's not bad.
Great.
That was a biggest issue. It's okay to
Mhm.
say, I don't want to be around you no more. I don't like you.
Mhm.
Even a family.
oh,
Let me
I'm gonna be around
Yes.
people no way. I'm a Virgo. I like to stay to myself anyway. So me staying to myself is not no problem. I don't care. I
Mhm.
And
don't
don't
listen to
wear red.
music, so I'm not listening to music like that. If I do, it be like that old, like them 70s, 80s, 90s music, like New Edition
Oh,
and all them.
yeah.
Rap, I don't listen to rap. I
Mhm.
don't listen to none of that.
Well, let me ask you this question, though, Sonia. So,
Uh-huh.
let me ask you this question: if somebody approaches you with a real jacked up tone, and you see it starts to trigger you, how do you typically respond?
To be honest, I asked him who the F you thought you was talking to, or who you think you talking to.
Who you thought?
He got me confused.
Now
Right.
who are you? Who you
Now
thought?
I would just turn around and just count my steps as I'm walking away, cause I'm taking everything in me. Not to turn around,
Right.
grab them by their throat, and choke them so they could breathe.
Right.
So I
Now,
have to learn to turn around, walk myself away from that.
what
Now
I
So,
you keep talking to me, it's a wrap.
Mhm.
It's done. Leave me
Sonya,
now. Now we get out, huh?
what
Are there
I
any things you may be? I'm sorry.
oh,
go
if
ahead,
you
I
Sharon.
want.
was going to ask, are there things you may be thinking of or may want to write down? Because sometimes you kind of control how you feel on things. Sometimes people can be buttholes, and you can't control how other people are, unfortunately. So, are there things you may be wanting to think about? Like, for example, you know how anxiety is, and how a lot of people suffer from anxiety and different things. Steps you may be thinking of taking when somebody approaches you in the wrong way, because a lot of times, you know, for example, somebody may snap off or approach you in the wrong way. You may want to count to 10 because
That don't work. I
that don't
tried
work.
that.
Okay.
What I would tell you to do is, I would tell you to change your shower curtains and
Mm,
change your bedroom curtains. I would tell you to get shower curtains and bedroom curtains in the color of blue. Um Try not to paint your nails blue. or I mean red. Try not to paint your nails red or have anything in your house that's red, because red does incite anger. You will want to surround yourself by a calming color, because I understand that if somebody's tone piss you off at that moment, what I look more into is long term. I look for something more long term, something that's going to help you out, period. You know, you want to wake up I would tell you to go to sleep and put YouTube on and put on the ocean, not just the sound, but the actual water, and go to sleep listening to that. Wake up, pray.
I have insomnia. I can't sleep like that. So I just be up. Everything
There's
Well,
start
a
racing at
there
nighttime. Everything is racing at one time at night. So now I can't sleep. Now I'm up and
there's
walk all
a
night. I tried music.
meditate.
I mean rain, water. I tried all that. Don't none of that calms me. None of that calms me down.
All
here's
right,
what
let
I
me
want.
None.
Let me jump in real quick, and,
all
and
right,
we
go
got
ahead,
Mr.
Mel.
Cal up on the set. Mr. Cal, thanks for pulling up. Um,
Hey,
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 girl.
Miss
Miss
Cal.
Cal.
Hey,
thank you for
sis.
Hey.
having me.
So the question that I
Hey,
have for you,
ladies.
just my question really is to you about Sonia. So I'm on, so like for me, if people's tone used to bother me too.
Mhm.
But that was mostly because they would use a real jacked up tone and I wouldn't say anything. So
I,
now when if people say something sideways to me, then I address it immediately. That way I don't walk away, because then it's done. It's a done deal. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there a problem? Do we have a problem? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because so we can get right to it. What are your
yeah.
thoughts about that, Jess, since you're giving
We
advice?
have to figure out, all right, we have triggers, and we got to realize that that ain't got nothing to do with the other person. There's something wrong with y'all, and there's something wrong with us. That's what I had to figure out. My
Mhm.
triggers were me. It wasn't them. It was me. Why did I get upset? Why did that tone anger me? Because you
Mhm.
also, at the end of the day, you have to realize this is your world. People say, oh, you can't say, yes, I can. This is my world. And this is my reality. And it's not always how people treat me, but it's how I react to it that really matters, because at the end of the day, it's my karma. And
Mhm.
so
Right.
you have to think, why did I get triggered? Because a lot of times people will figure out what triggers you and keep doing it because they
True.
can. Because that's
It's true.
I
how
just wanted
people
to.
go ahead, sis.
Sorry.
No, go ahead,
No,
Miss.
I was just going to say I'll let you finish your thought first, and then I'll jump in and add on to that as well, because this is a great topic, and I was coming up to jump in on the same thing. But yeah, just finish your thought.
Like, for instance, let me give you an example. Wiley pisses me off. If y'all ever see me and Sean, I can't stand him.
Mhm.
I don't like him, and I take every chance. And I'm not the type of person to talk about other people,
Sure,
because I don't ever want to make anybody feel bad.
sure.
But I don't like how he treats mental health, being as though he is
Mm,
sick. Like, why? Like, and that's my trigger.
yeah,
My trigger is somebody who talks bad about victims, who talks bad about mental health, and does it for no good reason.
right,
And I know that. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
you have to realize, why are you reacting? Why do you get angry? Why do you get mad? And if you know you get mad, take steps to fix it. Don't just say, oh, well, I get mad. No, because at the end of the day, anger, hostility, all that takes time off of your life. And it makes you
True.
look old, because you'll get wrinkle lines and all that other stuff. And we cute. We can't be doing that.
But we is cute.
Right. And also I like to say, real quick, if you don't mind,
Oh,
Yeah.
do you have a journal so you can write down what triggers you, exactly what steps you took, and
Me?
what worked when it works, and what
Who?
didn't
Who
work when it?
me?
yeah, you said
Yes, you.
Yeah.
So then you can be
Yeah, I
aware of.
spoke to my psychiatrist and my therapist, my journal, and there's a lot of dark things in that journal.
okay.
Because I had a
Sonny,
stroke.
That's
I used to be a
that's a
quiet person. I never would say anything. I used to keep a lot of things in. And then
mhm,
when I had that stroke, they told me not to hold anything in no more. If I got something to say,
Mm-hmm.
say
right,
it. So
right,
now I just says it now. Instead of trying to hold it in, I just
right.
take
Correct.
that outlet like that. But I got a lot of dog 13.
And if you
Killing
can't
other
write
people.
it down, okay.
I'm not mad at me. I'm mad.
Okay.
I want to kill somebody every day. That's what's in my journal. They know what's in my journal. I'm open.
So do you think there's a solution to your situation though, Sonia? Is there is
Um.
in your mind, are
Can
you
I
saying
jump in
this could just
real
be
quick?
resolved?
Okay. Go ahead. Go
I'd be
ahead. Go
okay.
ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Cal. I'm sorry. You sure we're going to jump in? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, just before we get too far on, because I just wanted to kind of agree with what is it just what she was
Yes.
saying with the whole triggers and things like that. Like when you have to understand that triggers are subconscious, and triggers are developed, throughout your development from the beginning of life. So your environment that you're growing up in, the beliefs, the beliefs that you hold, you know what I mean, the values and things like that. All of that, it affects how we react to anything or how we interpret the world around us, right? And
Well,
it's the same with,
actually,
you know what I
it's
mean,
they haven't
harmonics.
figured out if it was nature or nurture. They don't, because a lot of things we can be
Yeah,
triggered
I get what
by
you're saying.
things that
Like
can
there's a
happen
debate
to.
about it in there's a
Yeah,
debate
I
about
know.
it when it comes to psychology. But I get what you're saying. And yeah, there
Yeah,
is, like, you know what I mean, it hasn't been, confirmed whether or not, because, psychology is theoretical, right?
yeah,
But it's the same with harmonics and, what I mean, visual stimuli and things like that. So how
yeah,
when you were talking about colors and stuff, how we interpret, when you visually see a certain color, right, based on your own, you know what I mean, values, beliefs, environment around you, and how you, interpret the world around you, it affects the way that your brain processes that stimulation when you see something, right?
Right.
So then it becomes there's a physiological side where how you interpret things in your brain is then, you know what I mean, computed and is passed on to the other areas in your body, like in your nervous system. So if you have a certain reaction to somebody's tone, that is understood as being a learned behavior because of a trigger that you experienced at some point in life.
Making sense there,
If you
Mr.
get what
Cal.
I'm saying.
Yeah, I see that.
yeah.
And I don't think there's, because it sounds, I feel like you can find yourself in a jammed up situation emotionally or mentally or what have you, um, for multiple reasons. So some of it could be, like you said, a visual or audio stimuli, and then just what you were alluding to as far as like, um, what you were saying about, the mental aspect. So I think
Yeah.
it can be two or even more, um, components that would create one to be having a bad reaction or be triggered. But what I was going to get to with you, Sonia, was, when you're going through this issue or as you're processing this issue, is there something that you're saying, you know what, if this could be fixed, I would be good.
Just say muting itself. Uh, I said right now, what I'm working on right now is depression, PTSD, anxiety.
Yeah.
Uh, I just told me I'm borderline psychopath. Well, what the hell that means? Oh,
I didn't hear what you said. What was the last thing you just said?
Borderline
my
psychopath.
psychopath. That's how I
Border
would kill somebody and wouldn't have no feelings about it, and I wouldn't.
Was it borderline personality disorder or psychopathy?
Psychopath. No,
Oh,
psychopath.
oh,
Okay. Okay. But you know what? So you know what? You get 5 stars for being in therapy, because
yes.
there's a whole lot of
Definitely.
people right now, Sonia, that are experiencing the same thing you're experiencing. They don't have a therapist. They're not writing a thing down in the journal. They're not even thinking about it.
Yeah,
So
that
you get all the stars, girl.
It's
I'm
interesting.
very proud of you for that.
Absolutely.
I'm absolutely
Absolutely.
proud of you for that too. And on top of that, that's
And for being open about that, because
Yes.
yes.
sorry,
Say
I
that.
was just gonna say that, you know what I mean, when it comes to psychology, a lot of things that people don't realize is that people want to kind of, because she brought up borderline and psychopathy, right? And
Mhm.
people don't realize that not everyone just has one type of mental health issue.
Right.
And a lot of different symptoms that are associated with personality disorders can be common across, different types of disorders, like in like borderlines and narcissists and
Mhm.
psychopathy. Like there's a lot of things to do with emotion, and some of those have common, like I said, symptoms like the lack of emotion or the extreme emotion, where you're what they
Mm.
call manic episodes, where you're either extremely low or extremely
Yeah.
high. And sometimes you can see the same things across different types. So yeah.
Yeah, Sonia, I would just say with what you just said, um, just keep doing what you're doing. Stay in therapy because your therapist knows best.
Mhm.
Keep on figuring out what triggers you and trying to stay away from people. I say nouns, all the nouns that might trigger you into an anger episode. Because I'm just so proud of you for the
Too.
fact that you identify the fact that you have an issue and is getting
Right.
help. I'm so proud of you for that.
Right.
That is the
Right.
biggest step
I'm
that
loving the
so many
honesty,
people don't
transparency.
take. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's amazing. That is
Yes.
Very big.
And let me swing over here to you, I'm just, and say this to you. You can't stop at an associate's, because if you stop at an
Mhm.
associate's, it will not allow you to get into the role that you need to be in, that clearly you're qualified for.
a
Because
lot
you
of
up here
people
giving
tell
some
me.
real good counseling right now
No, you're
for
for
free.
sure.
Yeah.
I
For
agree.
free.
I agree.
You
A
And
lot
know?
of
And
people.
also, just to go back to when we were talking about, how you asked Sonia, how does she deal with certain things when, like, and I'm pretty sure I'm just wouldn't understand what I'm talking about. When with psychology, when we were talking about subconscious triggers and things like that, maybe another thing that you could talk to your therapist about, Sonia, would be exploring alternative therapy in a way of finding,
Mm,
techniques that you can do in the moment. Because when you're having a subconscious trigger, technically what it is regression, right? So you're being taken back to a place that you have been in before, that you have learned how to, react to in a certain way. And it's a subconscious thing. So your reaction is subconscious. But if you can learn to bring yourself back to the present moment,
mm,
in that stops you from, learn a technique that brings you back to the here and now, instead of being stuck in that place where because you've been triggered, and now you're going back and you're having these emotions and behavioral traits that are coming up because of a reaction that you've learned. So you can kind of retrain your brain to deal with situations a different way
wow.
through, like,
So we talked
just
about
mindfulness.
I talked to him yesterday, and we talked about that by me going back to when I was the N word when I was 4 years old, and
Mm,
I was
Mhm.
all the way up when I was 15 years old. And I say somewhere in between that time, I believe I got triggered somewhere between that when I was 4 and 15.
right.
That after all that happened, it's like that anger just came, and I was just
Yeah.
drinking, like wake up, drink, and go to bed. I quit. I don't stop doing that like that.
Mm,
I don't do that like that no more.
right.
And I was just drinking to numb the pain because I was
Right.
still hurting. And
Right.
so we already talked about me going back when I was like forgiving myself when I was 4 and 15, and now we're just trying to figure out in between that time what age was I when I just snapped, just
Right.
like forget me,
Yeah.
just like really snapped.
You
And
Right.
I'm
know,
going through this right now. I'm trying to figure that out now.
one thing that you can do, and this is hard. I had to do it myself, and it's not easy. And people don't, when I say it, people don't think it's hard, but it's hard. You go to the mirror and you look at yourself and you forgive yourself and you tell
Right.
yourself that you love yourself. And people don't understand how hard that is, and
Right.
how it's really it's just it's gut wrenching, because we don't know how much we have put ourselves down and how much we have
Mhm.
told
Right.
ourselves how we were nothing, until we look at ourselves and tell ourselves how good we are.
May I piggyback off of what you just said?
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Also, if you can, write a letter to yourself.
Mm,
At them ages that you can, write a letter to yourself to forgive
mm,
yourself as well. Not just go to the mirror and forgive yourself. Write a letter to yourself and to anybody who have done that to you, because waiting on whoever have offended you or whatever during your life, waiting
Mm-hmm.
on them to forgive you, or I mean, them to apologize to you, that may never happen. So write a letter. If you have to write that letter and tear it up and burn it, write a
Well, to be
letter.
honest, the girl that I think she was 12 years old when I was 4.
Hmm.
When I was 19, I ran across her again. It's like I went back to when I was like 4 years old. And to be honest, I down there killed that girl.
mm.
And my mom had to grab me up off of her because I was trying to kill her. And my mom was like, "What's going on?" And I told her what happened because I never told anyone. And so I was
Mm.
like 1920 that it happened. It was my mom's best friend daughter.
I just want to tell you again how proud I am of you of staying in therapy and
Right.
doing what you need to do.
Right.
I don't think I could tell you that enough. I don't think we tell each other enough how proud we are of each other.
True. Very
And
Exactly.
true.
I just want to tell you again that I am so proud of you
Right.
for the steps that you have taken for your own mental health and to fix yourself. I am very proud of you. I'm very proud of you.
I'm so
Yeah,
proud
so
of
I
you
had
too.
something like me to do because I got like two great nieces. They like 3 and 4 years old. And I could see they be around me so much, they starting to pick up my habits.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, I gotta change. If I don't, they're gonna grow up wanting to fight everybody, and I don't
Oh,
want them to think that's way of life. So I say I need to change something real fast before that happens. I
See,
don't have kids. I can have kids. So
that self-awareness is key, key, key. That is
mhm.
so key. And you got the key, girl. Like I said, there's so many people out here that don't have half of what you have
No.
available to you, and you're taking full advantage of it. And
Mhm.
man, I'm so glad. Listen, I want to shout out Sean David Way Show
Yes,
on
I do
every
too.
social media platform because we're actually this panel is actually together because of his one and another genius
Yay.
idea from Sean David Way Show. Yeah,
I'm so proud of him too.
I
I
am
I
too.
tell him
I'm
all
more
the
than
time.
proud of him.
Mm,
I
I'm
wanted to
so
say one
proud
more
of him.
thing too. I want to
yes,
say
ma'am.
another thing too. I
Yes.
wanted to say that I'm so glad that this panel came together, because this is the one reason why we do a mental health show, because it is this stigma on mental health is so negative out there. This is why I'm so glad you came up here tonight,
Me too.
because mental health, everybody suffers through some type of mental health,
Yes, they
where
do.
we realize it or not. Some people just haven't been diagnosed through it, and there's nothing wrong with you having something with your mental health. If you're not able to go to, that's wrong with the Black community now. A
Mhm.
lot of times people say, well, just go to church, just pray it away. No, it's
Right,
nothing wrong with going to go get help. There's nothing wrong with seeking help. There's
right.
nothing wrong with talking to somebody about it. And if you can't go to your family, go to a friend,
Come on,
go to a neighbor,
come
go
on,
to somebody, reach out to somebody and
come
tell
on.
them, I need help. Tell them before it's too late. Go tell somebody, seek somebody, write it in a letter and give it to your friend to give to somebody
Mm,
before it's too late. There
right,
is a 1-800 number. There is a suicide prevention month.
right.
Please let somebody know, because
Yes.
it is so important. There is
Absolutely.
nothing wrong with going out and reaching out to somebody.
Mm,
And not only
And
that, but there isn't enough people of color in the mental health industry at all.
mhm.
Um, they don't treat people of color right. They do
Right,
not at all. That's one of the reasons why I work in the industry that I work in, because people of color, they get the raw end of the deal. We have been experimented on since way back. We
right.
have. And I just I like now where I live at now, my daughter was feeling sad and their school was like, "Oh, we can get her a therapist." And I was like, "I would like the therapist to be black." And they said we don't have anybody black. They
Mm,
said if anybody was to apply, which they said we're searching, they said they could name their price and we would pay them anything.
Mm.
That is how much we are needed in this field.
Right.
And so I had to call my friend, like, girl, because he has a master, she has 2 masters. I was like, girl, get your butt down here for the school system, girl. You can name your price, because she's a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
And so
and then you up here talking about you gonna stop at an assembly school.
I know that.
I don't know what
Exactly.
state
That
you
is
live in, but I'll
immediate.
be to see you if you do stop. I think me and Lysandra Gildy, all of us, this whole panel gonna come get you, girl, if you don't.
I know that. I'm so proud of you. I really
Yes.
am. I can't say how much I am so proud of you.
Absolutely.
Like you said,
And I think another
this is
thing
needed.
that, sorry, I was just going to say, and I think another thing that she should be proud of herself about is the fact that you are self-aware enough to accept that,
Yes.
these are issues that you're having in your life, and you're willing to do what you need to do to, to fix that, and go through therapy. And you know what I mean? You can self-identify when you're going through a certain situation, and you know that you might be triggered, and you're just, you know what I mean, because that's another reason why a lot of people don't get the therapy or don't get the help they need, because they shut down, and they don't want to accept that this is something that an issue that they have in their life that they might need help with, because it's hard to kind of let your guard down and let someone else help you. Right. Especially like, what Jess was talking about, where you are a person of color and you're a minority, and when you go and seek help, you feel like you're always being let down.
Right.
And not just that, she said she had a personality disorder. And and I don't think you guys know how hard it is to get someone with a personality disorder to admit. And personality disorder is like borderline personality disorder, psychopathy, schizophrenia. You don't know how hard it is to get someone with those types of disorders to even admit that they need help, because people with those type of disorders is not emotional, it's your personality. And so a lot of people with personality disorders don't feel that they're sick because it's their personality.
Right. It's how they identify with themselves, so they don't see the issue. So they think, this is how I am, there's nothing wrong with me.
Right.
For her to actually not just go to therapy, but also to come up here and get a secondhand advice, it means a lot. I'm so proud. I just can't I'm just so proud of you. I'm very proud of you.
I'm gonna tell y'all what we're gonna do. I'm gonna tell you what. First of all, Jess, you're gonna stay in school. Let me say that again. You are going to stay in school, okay? Because the world needs you, baby. And we're gonna have to get back together again. Sonia, girl, you have just everybody's proud of you. And I think if you take any of the advice, we kind of shared that was, thrown out here on this panel today. If you take that one step about looking in the mirror and telling yourself that you love yourself and all this and that, be sure to tell yourself that there's some people out here that think highly of you just because of your courage to be able to get up on a panel and share your situation.
I'm very proud of you.
I mean, my goodness, girl, you have really you've led by example is really what you've done. And
for your great nieces should be very proud of you.
Indeed. And Mrs. Cal, your contribution to the conversation today is spot on. So y'all, we got to do this again. So again, I started by saying, we want to shout out Sean Davy Way, because the only reason why this panel is together is because of him.
I'm very proud of him too. I'm so proud of him. I can't. I try to tell him as many times as probably y'all be saying. I be sending them little $5 donations. All I be going through. I'm like, I'm gonna send them $50, but I'm gonna do a whole lot of $5 donations.
Yeah, right.
I'm so proud of him
because he's so genuine. It's like real. Anyway. I'll be trying not to say.
It really is. I love Mr. Sean David Way.
And I love it when people have what they stick to and they don't budge. Right. Even if they feel that, even if the popular opinion doesn't agree with me, like, how I am with that whole Trump Biden situation. Nobody agrees with me,
Right.
but I stick to it. I'm telling you.
I ain't mad at you.
And that's why it's called YouTube,
Exactly.
because you
Come
started your channel because it's what you
on.
it's what you believe in, it's
Mhm.
your beliefs and stuff. And guess what? Those who believe and follow you, you will get your audience and they will believe you.
Yeah.
And don't care about what the naysayers say.
Right.
You are doing your thing.
Right.
I listen to naysayers too, because it's everybody's opinion. Like, some people could put in some real good information to help me.
Right.
Like, a lot of, when people say, oh, criticism is okay too.
Yeah.
And
As long as it's constructive, there's nothing wrong with it.
yeah, like,
And you shouldn't have, and no one should have a problem receiving constructive
no, I
criticism.
really
Oh,
do. Just like
definitely.
I said, when I was talking about Trump, Mel class, she told me about myself with the most class in the world.
Thank you
And
for
it's
saying
like,
that.
I had to realize that I wasn't around my normal audience.
Mm.
It brought me back to reality, because I'm used to my conspiracy audience, and I've already explained a lot of stuff and why I feel the way I feel, so they understand. Then it brought me back to reality, like, you're not in that audience. And I'm like,
Right.
oh yeah, shut up, I'm just.
Well, I mean, but the good thing about that
And
too
that's one.
is go ahead, Miss
Oh,
Kim.
I was just gonna say that's one of the things that I love about Mel, and the way that you do your shows, and even on Station Head, Mel always creates a space where everyone feels safe to be able to speak openly and have constructive conversations. Because not everywhere you go do you find an environment like that, and that a lot of the time that is the reason why people don't leave being able to either see things eye to eye, or what I mean, agree to disagree and have a constructive conversation, like I said.
I
So
love that.
yeah.
Thanks for
Yeah, I
that.
do. I love that. I love being able to, like, bounce ideas off of people. Cause I think, like, Sonia, I have a lot of different things going on that I was diagnosed with, and one of them is ADD, and I still suffer with the ADD now. That's one thing I wasn't really able to run from like that.
Right.
But and I love, because I think fast. I'm always thinking,
Right.
and I love being able to bounce ideas off of people. And I like people who's going to tell me, you tripping with that one,
Right.
and that's when I fell in love with Mel, is when she was like, you tripping with that one.
Y'all so sweet. I appreciate y'all. But I'm gonna
No,
tell you what.
I didn't mean. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it in that way. I meant that when I was saying don't worry about the naysayers,
Oh,
definitely, because there's people, I don't always agree with what I say. So I
right.
definitely welcome that, because sometimes I may be looking at something totally different.
It's true.
But what I mean is that keep doing your thing.
Right.
You know.
And that's how you learn. That's how you learn what you don't know sometimes too. Because we can, enter into a situation and think, oh, everybody's thinking sees it the same way I do. So for me, I want to know how other people are seeing a situation, because I can check myself and or not. So but ladies,
Right.
we're going to do this again. We have to. It's absolutely necessary. And
Of
everybody
course.
up here needs to come back, especially you, Sonia, because I think we're going to have to make you the resident. Um, I don't want to use the word patient, but I think that, you know,
We just
I
want
mean,
to
because,
continue. We want to continuously help her to be the better person that
well,
she can be.
and yeah, that, and
And it
also,
takes more than one day. It takes more than one panel, and it takes more than one
absolutely
time, because we want to keep evaluating your progress, and we
right.
want to also progress with you.
Well, and see, spoken like a true professional. That's why you're going to be a doctor. I'm just in a minute. But the main reason for that, Sonia, is because your transparency comes so easily that I don't know how many people are going to watch the replay, but anybody that catches this replay and hears anything you said on this panel today, that any of us said on this panel today, are going to be edified, because Sonia, your transparency is enough to make somebody say, dang, you know what, man, if she can do it, I can too.
That's exactly why I'm so proud of her, because
Me
she
too.
took the first step for someone else to take their first step. Because you don't know how many
Absolutely.
people right now is at their lowest. It is a bad
Absolutely.
time, and
Yes.
honestly, I'm gonna be honest, it's not going to get too much better. Not if
Well,
you're used to the old way of living.
well, I'm gonna
Because
say this. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, doctor. Go ahead. Say
no,
it again.
no, goodness gracious. No,
Dr.
I'm
Green.
just I'm in my
Wonderful.
conspiracy bag now. If you're used to the old way of living, you're
Mm,
going to be very depressed because like they're saying they're going into a new world order.
right.
It's going to be a new way of living. It's going to
Mhm.
be a new way of life. And a lot of
Mm,
people who really is used to the old way of living, they're going to be very depressed.
yeah.
And it's a great reset going on as well.
Yeah.
I talked about that on my
Yeah, it's
channel
called the
too.
Great Reset. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
exactly
Well,
what it is.
I'll
That's
tell you
And
what.
exactly what it's called.
When this panel comes back together again, we will talk about the Great Reset. But I will say this. I'm going to say this. No matter what the circumstances are, get you some Jesus Christ in your life. Get you some
Amen.
of Him. Okay, and He will be able to make sure that you get through everything that you're confronted with. So I'll just set that right there. Ladies, I truly want to thank you. This was going to be like a little 15, maybe 10-minute type of show, but it looks like we didn't went all the way into an hour and 15 minutes. But I mean, it was worth every,
No, you were like Sean. We cannot just have 15 minutes.
yeah,
We need
no, no.
more.
Yeah, we got some good stuff out of here today. So I want to thank all of y'all for pulling up. And for all of us being able to collaborate and under the direction of Sean Davy Way. Sean Davy Way, we love you so much. You're just
Yes,
so
we do.
awesome.
we
I mean,
all
you
love
are
you so
phenomenal.
much.
And you are going to be a household name. He's going to be a household name before it's all
Definitely.
said and done,
And
y'all.
I'm going to support him
Girl,
up
Yes.
until
come
then.
on.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be old as I don't know
Exactly.
what,
And
talking some
he's
Sean.
going to hire and we're already going to speak into fruition. He's going to hire it in YouTube. We're going to
Oh,
see him on our
boy.
Oh, he's
TVs. We're going to see
already
him
hired in
He's going
everywhere.
higher than
YouTube.
four.
Yes.
What
He's
is it,
already
42?
exactly,
Isn't that what he's
exactly.
getting ready to be
He's
on
doing
now?
exactly. He's been to review
Yeah.
Shorty
It's,
too. He's going to
yeah.
be
Oh,
everywhere.
he's gonna hit the
Yes.
shade room
And we
next.
are we gonna be talking about we knew him when he
Yes.
started on
Uh-huh.
YouTube.
Well, not only,
So
and he'll be able to say, and, and that's what I love about him. Like he was saying the other day, I keep my mods close, and like I
mm-hmm,
keep my circle tight.
mm-hmm.
So not only he's not going to forget about us either, but how can you forget about somebody that's always loving on you? And I know we
Mm-hmm.
just love some Sean Davy Way. Oh,
Yes, we did.
whew, and
hell yeah.
just
I'm
and it's
so
just so hard
proud of him.
when
I
all you say is
saw
just I love you, I
him
love you, I love you. It's like that's
grow.
like I need to say more, do more because how do I show you how much what I mean, this man he really was the cocoa vaccine. You heard me?
Mm-hmm.
I watched him grow. I remember
Ooh,
when me and him got into a little argument. I had my other, I had an other page and they took my other page. My other name was I'm Just Misunderstood.
ooh,
And they took it because when this whole, V night, went on,
mhm,
I have back channels. I have people who were sending me stuff and I had people that were sending me videos from across seas. So I knew
so
what was
sad.
going on today. I knew it back in 2019, 2020.
Yeah,
I knew what their plan was, and they just scrapped my whole channel. YouTube did
yeah,
because of quote unquote misinformation that
yeah.
really actually happened. But me, I was told Sean, I was like, stop arguing with these people. You're so much better than this.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm better than this girl. I don't care. I was like, but I don't care.
We
You're
need
better than this.
no, because you know what? When Sean be arguing with them people, he be saying stuff that we want
I
to say.
know, I
Come
know,
on
I
now.
know. I know now, but I didn't know
He be
then
saying stuff
because
we
I
want to
saw
say.
his potential and I was like, no, I know you're better than this. And he was like, I don't care, girl. I don't care. You know how he get.
Yes.
And so then he came out with his first surviving, and I
Mhm.
sent him some money and I said,
I
I'm so
remember.
proud of
It's
you.
very
I love
surviving.
you, and I knew you
Mm-hmm.
could do it. I knew you was
Absolutely.
better than that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
so proud of you.
He's the man. He's it.
He
I
really
was
is.
like, I knew this was in you. This
Yeah.
is what I knew you always had.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I'm
before we
so
get out
proud.
here, um, just go ahead and say how folks can get in touch with you, and then shoot
Well,
at you.
my main channel is I'm just the name on the screen that you can see. You just type it 2 times, and that's my main channel. My backup channel is I'm just what you see on my name. And then if you type in my main channel, I'm just, if you put I'm just in twice, then when you see my videos, I'll put in the chat. When you see my videos, everything comes up like, oh, I'm in the chat already. So I'll just type in,
Perfect.
this is my main channel.
All right. And while you're doing that, Shrink and Sharon, go ahead and tell us how we can get in touch with you.
My channel is Shrink and Sharon, the same name you see up on here, and I will go ahead and get ready to type it in the chat.
Perfect.
And my name is just Shrink and Sharon. The MS7 isn't beside it, but you could also look up MS7 and maybe able to find me.
All right. And Mr. Cal?
Nowhere. I'm just always in everybody's chats.
Girl, no, you're a lieutenant somewhere, girl. Because you be on it.
Yes, no, you can always find me on the Sean Davy Wade channel, in the chat, on Station Head. I'm Mr. Cal N on IG if you want to follow me there, but I don't really be over there. Yeah, I'm just
Around, you'll see her. She'll
yes,
be there.
I'm just in the streets.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Sonia, where can we reach you, girl?
Oh, just my name is Sonya Maybe. I'm just talking about my journey with my mental health.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, and when you get ready to go live, Sonia, if you want us, we'll be happy to pull up and be on a panel to you too. You heard?
Always.
Oh,
And I mean, I can give you advice. It's not, you can't, it's not like professional,
Yet.
but I can always try to
Not
give you some
professional yet.
advice from friend to friend, from black woman to black woman.
Right. All right. And then for me, like I said, I'm really trying to push this. I'm back on Facebook. So if you guys get a chance, I'm in there. I have a page, The Only Male Cruise Show, the podcast, or you can find me on Facebook just under Male Cruise. I did put the link in the chat as well. So if y'all will go over there and hit it, that would be grateful. I mean, I'd be grateful, and that would be awesome if you did. And then of course I'm right here on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. That's it. That is the podcast. And I'm going to tell you what, I appreciate everybody who liked, shared, subscribed, leaving a comment. The panel, you guys are awesome. And we have to do this again. So until next time, y'all, we will see ya.
Love you.
Love you
Thank
too.
you so much.
Please, thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll see you when we see you.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to the Only Male Cruise Show, the podcast. I am the Only Male Cruise. Be sure to hit the like button, share, subscribe, leave a comment. You know I want to hear from you. Copyright disclaimer regarding fair use is in full effect. The views and opinions expressed in this show, you guessed it, they're all mine. Let's go to work.